I wanted to make a video today at Diamond L Barbecue about the best accessories and the accessories that I use on the Old Country gravity fed smoker. So I made a separate video. Make sure you check it out. It's in my bio on my page on the best way that I think to run the gravity fed smoker. So I show you how I use the splits in the chute, lump charcoal, and then wood chunks underneath to get the best offset smoke flavor, because I've got a TMG offset that I use. So basically I explain in that video how to run this gravity fed to get results almost identical to that offset. So this video, I get a lot of questions on what ash pan do I use, what casters do I use, what thermometer do I use, how do I start the fire, what fans do I use. So I thought I'd go through some of those items in this video. So we'll start on this end. So I'll show you the ash pan. So, and I will link everything in this video. I will link in the description where I got these items in case you want to get them as well. So I recommend every one of them that I use. The ash pan, so it fits in here perfectly. I got it on Amazon. I'll link it. So at the end of the cook, you just dump out the ashes. Perfect fit in this smoker. So easy, cheap. It's held up. I've had this smoker for a long time. Stainless steel ash pan. I think they might call it a pizza pan or some kind of baking pan. Anyway, I'll link it. So that's what I use to catch the ashes. I put the wood chunks in here. So basically, once everything is cooled off and your cook is done, it makes it super easy just to dump out and move on to the next cook. The torch. So basically you just get the camping propane tanks at the grocery store or Academy, wherever you go, on Amazon, and you screw that in. And all I did was just buy a cheap, I'd never bought one before, so I just kind of bought a cheap one, and it's held up. I've had this for a year. It was just a cheap torch that you just screw right into the propane tank, and it lights right up. I'll link that. I mean, you could use, there's a bunch of different ones, and there's a lot nicer ones. This was just a cheapie, but like I said, I've had it a year and it's been perfect. So they've got nicer ones if you want to go with a fancier one. So basically you just light it up. You've got the chute full of charcoal, so you just hold that torch right here at the bottom where the charcoal sits, you know, for, I don't know, 30 seconds until you hear the lump charcoal crackling, and then boom, you're on your way. So the torch and the ash pan are both must-haves, I think. The ash pan is so cheap and it makes cleanup so easy. I think it's a must, and the torch is awesome. I used to use tumbleweeds and soak paper towels with olive oil, cubes. I used to use the charcoal chimney and dump charcoal in the chute and then load the chute, but to me this is the easiest, quickest way to get it lit up. So there's that. Okay, we will move on to the thermometer. So tell true, you know, most guys say tell true is the way to go. I agree with that. Easy to read. They've got different kinds. The problem is the neon ones, glow in the dark, the cool colors, they're a different length of a stem. They're usually 2 or 3 inches, which is, I think, is a little short. So I got the Tell True, I believe it's a 4-inch stem. I'll link it. So the problem is the door, you know, and you might look it up to see, but it's a 1/2 inch to 1 inch worth of insulated door. So I guess it's about 1 inch worth of insulated door. So, you know, you buy a 2-inch stem, and that stem's going to be way in here. And then the problem is the door is going to have radiant heat. So the shorter the stem you have, you know, the temperature's not going to be quite ideal and on point. So this 4-inch longer stem is the way to go. I'll link this Tell True. I think it's perfect. I think you can get it on Amazon or Tell True's website. So that's the one I recommend. A lot of folks agree with that. And 2, just as a heads up, I've never had it poking into briskets or meat that's on here, because that was my first thought is, man, using a longer stem thermometer, is that thing going to stick right into the brisket or meat? So I've never had it. It fits perfectly in there between the racks. So I've never had it stick into the meat that I've got loaded in the smoker. So just to answer that question. So I'll link that thermometer. It's great. When I use these digital probes, I mean, it matches up right on point. You can calibrate them if you need to. I know a lot of people say that, but I've never had to calibrate one. Tell true, I think they're on the money. And like I said, using a digital probe, seeing the digital temp, and then the temp on this, once the smoker's up to temperature, they read, same, spot on. So anyway, that's that. The casters, so here's a big thing. So the little metal wheels that come on this gravity-fed smoker do not move it well at all. I had to move it through the backyard, up the driveway, through the backyard, onto the back porch. I don't move it now that it's here, but it's impossible to roll through the yard on those little metal wheels. So these are the 6-inch casters. I've used 3-inch casters, 4-inch casters. The 6-inch casters, I'll link them in the bio or in the description of this video. These are perfect. They sell them in blue, red, orange, black. Maybe they have other colors. I just did the black just to match in with the smoker, but the colors are kind of cool. And it bolts. It fits right in on the bolt pattern. I mean, you don't have to do anything except bolt them right on. So basically, when I brought this smoker home, I had it laying in the bed of my pickup truck. While it was still laying in the bed of the pickup truck, I basically unbolted the little rinky-dink metal wheels that don't even move, pulled those right off, put these 6-inch casters on, boom. This is amazing. And it makes it sit up a little higher, because if you look, I mean, the bottom of this, is kind of low to the ground. So having those 6-inch casters gives it a little more height, so you don't have to bend over quite so far if you're putting things in the bottom of the smoker. So those casters, awesome. I mean, that's a must-have, doing the casters. And these are way better than the stock ones, and then way better than 3 or 4-inch casters. I mean, the bigger the caster, the easier it is to move around. I've seen guys put rubber tired bigger ones on, but then those don't match up with the bolt pattern that are on here. So then you have to kind of, rig up your own setup. So I just wanted to bolt the old ones off, put these on, get going. Okay, so fans. All the fans people list, I recommend any of them. I've used them on my Big Green Egg. So to me, it's a win-win. When you get a fan on this thing, it gets it up to temperature within 15 minutes. It holds temperature like a champ all day, all night. The peace of mind of not having to worry about it. They're all Bluetooth or wireless, so that way on your phone you can change the temperature, check the temperature. You can go to the grocery store, go to the gym, run your errands, and you can monitor your cook on the meat and the temperature, change it, whatever you need to do. So the two that I have that I use, and I go back and forth, and both of them work perfectly. So there's the FireBoard, which I think is tremendous. I love it because it's got so many meat probes on the FireBoard controller. So I like it for that. If you've got this thing filled up with meat and you want to monitor more than one protein, I love the FireBoard. And the funny thing is, so I've got a Big Green Egg. So I had an Egg Genius fan. I use the Egg Genius fan a lot because it's so quick and easy to hook up. It only has one meat probe though, so that's the only downside with this, is that it just has the probe that goes in the grates and then one for the meat. But the thing is, a lot of people buy the adapter for the ball valve, and the funny thing is, you don't necessarily need it. It is nice and it makes it easy, but to be honest with you, you wouldn't believe it if you saw it. It's got a square, fan on it, just like the FireBoard and like a lot of them. The funny thing is, you can take this square fan. You could spend, I don't know how much they are, 20, 30, 40 bucks for a ball valve adapter. But look at this. You can stick this literally in the threading, give it a half a turn, and it's in there, not coming out. So just as a heads up, if you've got a FireBoard, Egg Genius, whatever, it might save you a few bucks just to put it inside the ball valve, inside that threading. And then when you're done, you can unscrew it, boom. That's easy. I mean, that's, anyone that wants to save a buck or two, see if you can't just screw it into the threading. I can do the FireBoard and the Egg Genius just like that. So I never even got the ball valve adapter. I think that's everything that I use. There's other things that folks will use on here. So basically, like I said, the torch to me is a must-have. The ash pan, excuse my hands, they're kind of black from touching the charcoal and everything. The ash pan is a must for me. This thermometer, I love having it. I think it's the best one. Tell True, perfect length. Go for that. The casters, these are 100% the casters I would recommend if you're getting casters for one of these. And then the fans, like I said, you know, there's not one particular one that I love the most. So, I mean, you can go with recommendations, whatever's easiest to get, cheapest price, good reviews, but just telling you, I do love this FireBoard. So if all things are equal, that might be what I go with, just because of the amount of probes that you can monitor meat on. But like I said, if you have a big green egg and you have a fan controller that fits on that, boom, use it on this. That's what I did. So this was a controller I already had, fan I already had, fits right in there. So for any of you big green egg guys or girls and you have a fan for that, just use the one you already have. That kind of does it. If you have any questions, feel free and comment. Subscribe to the page, like the videos. Like I said, I've got another video on how to run this thing to get identical results as the offset, pretty much near identical results. I do videos on my offset. I should make some videos on the big green egg, but like the channel, I've got a Facebook page and Instagram page under the same name, Diamond L BBQ. So follow those as well for videos on my cooks. I'll be cooking this weekend. I mean, Thanksgiving's coming up, so I'm going to do lots of turkeys, hams, briskets, turkey breasts. So I do a lot of videos and pictures of my cooks. So thanks again, guys, and happy smoking.